Hey guys, this is Dorian Day, and welcome to Sick Sound Designs number 2. Today I'm going to be going over our new wavetable pack from Sick Twisted Mind Studios, and then I'm going to be going over how I made them using wavetable effects resampling, a process I've been using in some of my recent videos to import the character of an external effect back into Serum. When re-imported into Serum and combined with the original or alternately processed version, you instantly achieve a variety of layered sounds that would be difficult to achieve using other methods. A laborsome process previously considered a professional secret. Well, Serum cracks that wide open. I want to show you something from my Instagram. I found this in the process of making these tables, and I didn't try to make this. It was just there among the literally millions of sounds that are in all of these tables. Now that sounds pretty close to me, to the original, and pretty much I just found it when going through all of the different sounds. And I'm going to show you how you can do something similar. But first I'm going to hand it over to my partner Erik, who's going to talk about the packs that we've made, so that if you don't want to do this process, you can just grab these packs.
Hey guys, this is Erik. I want to introduce you to our new products, Analog Delusions and Digital Apocrypha, our new wavetable packs for Serum. Each pack is similar in content and construction, but different in that Analog Delusions was processed using high-quality analog emulating plugins, and Digital Apocrypha was processed using high-quality digital plugins. Since they are similar in construction, we'll just go over Analog Delusions. At the heart of the product is the Tables folder. The file number 1 is the custom wavetable from Future House Bass Volume 1. The following tables up to number 64 are the original table processed by a different external effect. At the bottom, we have saw, sine, square, and triangle wavetables, where each of those frames were pulled from the analog table and combined by the type. The VIP table is made up of some of the best frames from the analog tables. In the main folder, we have the demos up top, the cover art, and the frames folder. The frames folder contains the single wave frames from the saw, sine, triangle, square, and the VIP tables. Next is the MIDI folder, containing the MIDI from the demo files. Here we have the instructions manual. This has the effects and the macros and the controls on how to actually use Serum. Next is the preset folder, containing universal presets, showcasing wavetable doubling. These presets can be quickly transformed from one basic sound to another very quickly using macros and basic sound design knowledge. Moving from a bass to a pad to a lead or a pluck is just a quick macro turns away. In the resource folder, we have 10 Ableton racks showcasing wavetable quadruipling, where 2 Serums are stacked using 4 affected tables to create high-definition layer sounds instantly. We also included the proprietary and the OS X Ableton preset files for the effects used. Finally, we have the tips file detailing all the steps taken to create these wavetables and tips on how to get good results. Dorian's going to be going over the file showing you how to create similar results to those in the pack, and then you can grab a demo from sicktwistedminds.com.
So what is wavetable resampling? Well, thankfully it's a lot easier than the resampling done in bass music. It's basically as simple as dragging in a wavetable, applying an effect, and then freezing or processing. And here you go, I have a processed wave. Now I didn't do a very good job with this one, and we'll show you later, but I can show you in Serum what you get. So this is the one I just created, and I can add in the original. Now I like to add a macro to wavetable position. so you can control easily how you run through it. Make sure you morph them both and normalize. So you can hear that the one on the right, the processed one, is vaguely reminiscent of the original. Sometimes they're really similar, but I just crushed this one. I should have adjusted the decibels, but I didn't because we're going to actually run through this process. But you can hear just right away the doubling power of this. So it's pretty much that simple, but there are some things to be aware of. If your plugin introduces silence, either due to failure to report latency or some other bug, it's recommended you delete the silence using Audacity, like I've shown in previous videos. Also, if your original table didn't work well in Serum, your processed one won't either. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say. You can check out in some of my other videos how to get good results. I've already shown in detail how to do all of this. I just wanted to do one cohesive run through. Also, I've talked about how that math preset was made or discovered. It's curious, so go check that out. It has to do with what the effect does to multiple cycle oscillator. So that's pretty much it, but I'm going to run through the tip sheet and what doubling and quadrupling sounds like. You can hear what quadrupling sounds like on the Sick Twisted Minds YouTube channel. I ran through these presets, and you can hear it if you don't want to go through this. So let's do this. All right, so effects resampling can be done on either a single cycle waveform or wavetables, but it's much easier to do it on wavetables because you can process, 64, 256, whatever number of wave cycles at once with that effect. So it's pretty efficient. Once you have the material you want to process, I used a custom wavetable from Future House Space Volume 1 that you can see here. It's just a lot of cool sounds. So I separated this into an effects design portion and then the actual processing portion. And how I did that was using Ableton's AU preset feature. So I'm just going to drag two of my favored presets. Sound Toys Decapitator. I'm just going to set a random setting. Kind of extreme. And then I'm going to hit save. And I'll just save here as 1. And then I'll grab D16 adapter. Now when I did this, I saved them in their own folders over here, but I'm just kind of rushing because I hear people like short videos. All right. So, actually, no, I'm going to do a digital effect. Some bit crushing. Typically, I'll design on a saw or sine. I didn't start with that. All right, we'll do that. And I'll save again in Ableton. Using your DAW's preset manager feature is probably the fastest way to do this if it has one, because otherwise you have to open up the preset, load the preset, or open up the plugin, load the preset, and it takes quite a while. All right, so once I have those two, I would bring in the waveform. And you should probably drop the volume chances are there's some gain unless you've dialed in your effects well. Dragging the first preset. Oh, make sure you save a copy so you don't have to drag it in again. Freeze. Let's play it just so you hear, actually. So without the effect, not that you can really tell. And then with the effect. Well, that one was extreme. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Turn warp and looping off so that you don't get that double loop like Ableton does when you have loop and flatten. Freeze, flatten, and you can see your processed waveform. Basically just crushed everything. And then we can process this one over here with the Sound Toys Decapitator. You can hear without. And with. Once again, turn off loop and warp. Freeze. Flatten. And then just for convenience of grabbing the files, I'm going to crop these. Show in Finder. And now they're right here. Hopefully there's no space in the front because you see that space? That's what you would go into Audacity and delete. I've done this in other videos, so I'm not going to today. And does this one have it? A little bit. Yeah, it's really easy, but I want to keep this short. So check out other videos if you don't know how to use Audacity to delete samples. So I can drag these back into Serum. Turn off my effect. Interesting. 2048. Yeah. You gotta set this frame size. Okay, apparently I put the same in one twice. There we go. So you can hear this is the one processed by Decapitator, and this is the one processed by the Decimort, I think. So now that I showed you how you do that, I'm just going to grab some of my wavetables that I already know are really good. I'll keep the original. I just grabbed some alternative one. So if I turn off one, let's make sure that this is always normalize over and over again so that you get the loudest frame that you can. Sometimes stuff happens and I've noticed them shrink. So the one on the right sounds like that. The one on the left. Then you add them together. Or move somewhere else. And you create layered sounds pretty much instantly. Now I'll show you a couple presets before showing you quadruipling. So the reason these are universal presets is because you can quickly transform them from one kind of thing to another. And I'll show you quickly some. I'm not going to show you how to create a universal kind of preset, but I will do a video on it And you can do different things, like you can use pluck or LFO or whatever you want to transform this into. But in this case, I want to transform this into a pluck. So that's my main modulating element. So with wavetable, just controls the wavetable between the two. Blur is like detuning and some panning. So you can have a lead just by going up high, maybe add some reverb and sustain. Mono. You got legato. Or we can go and we can make a super saw. Turn off portamento. Or you can make like a Reese bass type thing. Or go to a pluck. Go to a transpluck. And more and more and more. It's just pretty much whatever you can do with these knobs and then small changes. But you can see how quickly you can move between things. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And then finally, you can, I have these set up as Ableton racks, but probably the sickest thing about this is quadruipling. You'd have to figure out how to set it up in your own DAW, but it's basically just double layering these serums that each have, you know, these affected wavetables. Just open up a random one from DAW. That's Digital Apocrypha. You can see we have DAW digital table 37, 19, 26, and 51, and this is what it sounds like. So if I take the wavetables away one at a time, you can hear the difference. And then add it back. And then you can change the wavetable knob. And then once again, if I turn them off. And then there's a bunch of presets just to get you started. I mean, there's only 10 rack ones. But you can pretty much just switch out the tables and get a whole different set of sounds. So there you have it. That's the real power of this effects resampling, I think, is not only being able to switch through variations of your sound really quickly, but being able to layer them with harmonically related versions and get a layered, high-quality layered sound like that. I mean, it's pretty much unheard of. Like, I don't know how many synths you would have to layer to get this kind of sound with what, you know, we've been using up until Serum coming. Like, you'd have to get, you know, 8 Nexus expansions and then try and figure out how to layer them all at once without all those effects clashing. So this is a pretty exciting time. This is, you know, opening up a really cool sound design world to, you know, to people who aren't super professionals, because, you know, not that long ago I wasn't very happy with the sounds that I was making, and Serum's helped change that. So hopefully these processes will help you feel that same way. Thanks.